Okay, this is People of the State of Michigan versus Delvante Coleman, docket number 20-903FH. This is the time set for sentencing. Mr. Coleman, can you just confirm for me first that you did agree to do the sentence remotely?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Coleman, you were convicted of aggravated stalking. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and you are represented by Mr. Hess. And Mr. Hess, have you had a chance to go through the pre-sentence report with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Do you have any additions, deletions, or corrections?
No, Your Honor, besides the suggested change to the guidelines.
Okay, is that a stipulated change or?
Well, the assistant prosecutor has proposed one change to which I will stipulate, but I do have another change
Okay.
that I would like to propose.
Go ahead with yours, Mr. Hess, your contested one.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I would respectfully move the court to score offense variable 13 at 0. I believe this was scored as a pattern of felonious criminal activity involving 3 or more crimes against a person. That would have to be in the past 5 years. Looking at Mr. Coleman's criminal history, I did not see 3 crimes against a person that would have been committed within the past 5 years, so I don't believe that's been scored appropriately, Your Honor.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. Taking a look at on his PSI for number 5 of 9, the offense date being August 28, 2014, but most importantly, he was discharged from parole in November of 2019, so it would still qualify under the 5-year period because it's when they're done with, I believe it's when they're done with probation or parole. Let me see here. This is the first time hearing about it, so give me
But you still have to get to 3 or more.
Yeah.
No, you still have to get to 3 or more for OV 13.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing that was the first time he's raised this with me, so I'm trying to double check what I was seeing.
Understood.
Yeah, actually, I would agree. He's right. And I hadn't scored it initially. When I was looking at it earlier, I was thinking it would be I think OV 13 is actually the offense date, not when they're off of probation or parole. I was thinking of a different OV. So I would agree with that. Yep.
So it's a 0, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Your Honor.
Okay. And who wants to give me the one you both agree to?
Well, if I'm reading Ms. Allen's email correctly, the proposal is that OV 10 be reduced to 0, and I have no objection to that.
Okay. So then that makes the total OVs 15?
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
On a Class E. That would put it at 10 to 23, is that correct? Yes?
Yes, Judge. And that makes
Yes.
more sense. And we negotiated this plea agreement. We had something along those lines too.
Okay, so I've made the changes. The total OVs are now 15. which puts him at, oh, I forget what level that was now.
A 2, Your Honor.
2? A level 2, and the range is 10 to 23. And then did the people have any corrections to the report itself?
Only, Your Honor, and the victim is present here. We've spoken in terms of restitution, and for the personal property that was damaged, there's an approximation of $3,000 for the property that was damaged in restitution.
Okay, thank you. And the people had no further comment?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and then Ms. Verser, you wish to be heard, is that correct?
What?
Ms. Verser? Ms. Verser, I'm told you wanted to speak, is that correct? Hello, Ms. Verser?
Hello?
I'm told you wanted to speak. This is Judge Draganchuk. I'm told you wanted to speak at the sentencing, is that correct?
No, I'm zoomed in for Maurice Day sentencing.
Oh,
Sorry, they have the same first. They have the same name. They have the same first name. Sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Ms. Verser, the Maurice Day, I asked the attorneys on Maurice Day if we were expecting anyone else because I saw you in the waiting room. But anyway, that got adjourned. The defense attorney did not have a chance to meet with his client in advance of the sentencing, so I adjourned it for 1 week. And it's set for, I believe I said, 2:15 a week from today. So that's going to be April 12th at 2:15.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll see
Okay,
you then.
all right.
Okay, so who am I looking for, Ms. Allen, on this one?
Her first name is Tiara, and so that was.
Yes.
I'm very sorry about that. And I have a couple different names. I think it should be Tiara Richardson if she is zooming in, but she's had
Well,
different names done.
I've got a Galaxy S20 and Mary's S21. I'm gonna guess she's not Mary's S21 unless she's using someone else's phone. So let's take a shot at Galaxy S20. This is the part of Zoom I love. Heavy sarcasm. Okay, whoever just joined us under the name Galaxy S20, could you identify yourself, please?
My name's Tiara Taylor.
I'm sorry?
She's
Tiara.
Tiara Taylor.
Oh, okay, Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Okay, I'm very sorry. We had a little mix-up because we had someone else with your same first name that we let into the hearing and thinking it was you. So we've started the sentencing already. We are on the record. And we've just gone through some of the procedural matters, and we've gotten to the point where you can say something if you wish to say something. Did you want to say something, Ms. Taylor? You're muted.
No, somebody's speaking on my behalf.
Ms. Taylor, you want me to speak on your behalf based on what we spoke about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Judge, I've spoken with Ms. Taylor and she's been through an awful lot even since this incident. She's been in and out of the hospital recently for an unrelated incident, but she has had a lot that she's had to deal with. and she has extreme fear of this defendant still. As I noticed in the police or the pre-sentence investigation report, the writer noted the defendant appeared to not comprehend the fear he was invoking in the victim. And it is constant. She has severe concerns that he's going to be staying in this area and that the only reason he wants to stay in this area is to try and be near her, try and make contact with her. A family member of his has already called her mom and just to discuss things that have been going on. And Ms. Taylor wants it to be very clear that she wants absolutely no contact with the defendant. That this court's order and the PPO will remain intact, and that the people are also unequivocal that if he has contact with her and does not follow the court's orders, we will make as many pursuit charges if we can, or we will go forward with asking this court to revoke any sort of probation that is ordered, because we take this very seriously and we want everything we can to make her feel protected while this defendant is out on probation. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hess.
Yes, thank you very much, Your Honor. This is a situation where Mr. Coleman was out of control. He was drinking way too much, going through severe emotional distress, and he acted out. And as another circuit judge told me shortly after I was sworn into the bar, certain things are explanations and certain things are excuses. So nothing I'm offering is an excuse. Mr. Coleman's behavior is not justified in any way, but it is an explanation for his behaviors. He knows that what he did was wrong. His time in jail has been helpful for him. He's engaged with the services provided by CMH through the CATS program. Recently, Mr. Coleman has seemed to be more at peace when I've spoken with him. CATS is going to be helping Mr. Coleman through what's called the Pathways program. And the idea is that they'll be able to get him situated in subsidized housing, also with helping him to get a job. And what I discussed with Mr. Coleman last week when we met is that a big problem that he's had in his life has been this lack of stability. He's not originally from the Lansing area. He's been bouncing around from relationship to relationship, from housing situation to housing situation. And in this case, the relationship ended on a sour note, and he acted badly and acted out and was completely inappropriate. What I'm hoping is that if he does have these mental health needs addressed and the fundamental need for housing and employment addressed, then that will give him the stability that he needs to form a stable base. I've discussed with Mr. Coleman, per the pre-sentence report, the desire of the protected persons not to have any contact with him at all, and he's informed me that he's got no problem with that, and he understands that these people don't want to have anything to do with him. He does, I believe, he will be living in the Lansing area, but there's no reason for him to go anywhere near them. The law is that the probation for this has to be 60 months, 5 years. Mr. Coleman understands that. That's quite a long time. He understands the consequences if he were to violate. So I would respectfully ask that the court follow the recommendation of the Department of Corrections to a jail term of time served with 5 years of probation with any appropriate court orders in place. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Coleman, is there anything you would like to say?
Once again, I'd like to simply apologize to my victim and assure that at the time I was out of control. I did have too much time on my hands. I wasn't working or anything at the time, so I had too much time on my hands to be just out rambling. And at this point, I respect everything that wants to be done. I respect the PPO order, and I also respect the probation. And at the same time, I appreciate the probation for the length of time that it is, because it gives me time to better myself and know myself better as a man. And I do appreciate everything that's going on with me right now with the CAS program and CMH. They are willing to help me once I step foot out of the county jail onto a better path. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Well, Mr. Coleman, that your statement just now is actually impressive. I mean, it really sounds like you mean it and like you've really gotten your head together. However, um, that just tells me that jail has actually been a beneficial place for you. You've gotten some programming in, obviously, and gotten some support and some help. Ms. Taylor, though, has every right to be traumatized by this incident. It is extreme. I mean, I've had stalking cases and I've had stalking cases. And this is at the far end of the spectrum as far as seriousness of stalking cases go. She suffered through unbelievable terror as a result of your actions. And I am sympathetic to whatever mental health issue or anything you had going on at the time. But if it means that your mental health issue has endangered and traumatized Ms. Taylor the way this clearly has to have done, then it's not, it means that I have to do something more severe than normal to protect her and to protect society. So I will follow the Killebrew recommendation, but I do think that in a longer period than what is recommended of incarceration is required. I am going to place you on probation for 60 months as required by law, 270 days in jail with credit for 156 days served. You have to pay $130 to the Crime Victims Fund, $68 in state costs. I'm waiving oversight fees, restitution in the amount of $3,000 to Tiara Taylor, and costs in the amount of $250 based on the State Court Administrative Office calculated average cost of a criminal case in Ingham County. Additional conditions of probation are you may not use or possess alcoholic beverages or controlled substances or drug paraphernalia. You may not engage in recreational use of marijuana or use marijuana in violation of the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act. You must comply with both alcohol and drug testing as your agent directs. You must complete outpatient or residential substance abuse treatment if your agent refers you to that. You must complete a domestic violence or batterer intervention program as directed by your agent. You must waive confidentiality and allow any treatment you're in to disclose information about you to your agent. When you are released from the jail, you'll be on 90 days of curfew tether. You must not engage in any assaultive, abusive, threatening, or intimidating behavior. No contact with anyone you know to have a felony record. You may not possess a weapon while you're on probation. You must comply with the written and verbal orders of your agent. Let the agent into your home at any time for supervision. Submit to a search of your person or property without need of a warrant, and report any changes to your agent within 24 hours. And you may not have any contact with Tiara Taylor and Mary Walls, either directly or through another person. You may not be within 500 feet of their residence, school, or place of employment. And you have the right to file an application for leave to appeal your conviction and your sentence in this matter. You're entitled to an attorney at public expense to assist you in doing that. If you're making a request for one, you have to make it within 42 days of today's date. It will explain that more on the form that we'll send you. And you should just be aware that the time period for an appeal starts running from today's date, and that's 42 days. Okay, unless you have any questions, Mr. Coleman, then that will conclude our sentencing hearing. Do you have any other questions?
I would like to speak with my attorney. No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, then you are all set. You can tell them there at the jail that you're all done.
What's the sentence?
270 days, but you get credit for 156 you've already done. Okay,
All right,
you can tell them at the jail you're all set. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.